everyone, welcome into this week's Utini Update, your one-stop shop for catching up on all the latest Star Wars news with the little nerdy stuff thrown in. I'm Eric. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, because we got a lot to get into this week. The first thing I want to say is thank you to everyone who voted in our community poll last week. We went through 4 different news stories about the Acolyte, Outlaws, Hunters, and Temptation of the Force, and I asked you all what you're most excited for right now, and 42% of you voted for Star Wars Outlaws. I gotta say, I voted for it as well. I cannot wait for that game, and it's good timing because we got another update on something we're gonna see in that game come August. Now, we know that we got over 10 minutes of gameplay of Star Wars Outlaws at Star Wars Game Fest, but other creators got to have about an hour of behind-the-scenes stuff that showed other levels and other missions. Now, Brad Norton over at Dexerto posted that he found one Easter egg on the planet Torshara that I think a lot of us are going to love, because he found a crashed ship when he was exploring that turned out to be from the High Republic with a note around it that mentioned the Nile Marauders. Now, for those of us that have been fans of Temptation of the Force last week and the High Republic references in other places like Jedi Survivor, this is fascinating because it shows that the High Republic era is going through future games as well as TV shows and everything else that we've seen, basically confirming that the future of Star Wars is in this era no matter where you are. Now, speaking of High Republic, we did get another release focused on the Acolyte this week, but it was a song. We actually got a pop single called The Power of Two by Victoria Monet. I cannot remember this happening in Star Wars, but we got an actual pop song released as a single on Spotify, Apple Music, and it's awesome. It thematically resonates with the show, and I think it's really cool that Star Wars is doing all these other outlets to kind of popularize the show, to kind of show promotion for it. So go stream that if you haven't. It's really freaking good. And our final little piece of High Republic news this week, The Young Jedi Adventures, the first High Republic show ever made, the animated show over on YouTube, Star Wars Kids, and Disney Plus, is getting a second season coming later this fall. I personally watched a little bit of these. I don't have any kids. I didn't watch a ton of it, but I know it's been a huge hit with a lot of people on our team, as well as those younger Star Wars fans. Also, if you're interested in Nubs, because Nub Nation, who's not, there are some animated shorts that have already been put up. There's 4 of them. 2 of them involve Nubs, and they're super cute, so go over to the YouTube Kids Star Wars page and go have a blast hanging out with the Young Jedi Adventures. Congrats on season 2. Now, I want to take a second to address something that a lot of us in this fandom have been feeling over the last couple of weeks, and that is the coverage of the Acolyte by specifically a small, loud group of fans. Unfortunately, the Acolyte has been review bombed by a bunch of people on places like Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, to the point where they're literally finding things called the Acolyte that are not the Star Wars project and review bombing that as well. It just shows you how disingenuous it is, and yes, it's all a lot of noise. The higher-ups know what this is, so don't worry about this actually affecting the future of the show. But I just want to say, if you're feeling a little bogged down, I've been seeing tweets and stuff of people feeling really sad that the Acolyte coverage is overall trying to push out these voices. A couple tips. 1, use your mute and block button a bunch. You know, you don't owe seeing this stuff to your own eyes, to your own soul, right? If you're excited about the Acolyte and this kind of stuff bums you out, you can mute, you can stay off for a little bit. You shouldn't have to. It's not your fault. This is true. But I think the Acolyte has been so fun for so many of us that stuff like this is just unfortunate, and it doesn't happen in a lot of other fandoms, so we can try to keep bringing the positivity and light as best we can. But because of that, I wanted to highlight a couple people that are really bringing the love lately that can kind of upgrade your algorithm, upgrade your feeds, and really reinforce how much love there is for this amazing show. First of all, I want to shout out the official Star Wars account themselves. If you're not subscribed to them on YouTube, obviously do that. You get some cool trailers, but they've been doing a really great job with shorts. There's a lot of cool behind-the-scenes stuff, like talks with Amanda Stenberg about how she gets into character using like olfactory scents and things like that. And they're doing a lot of really great stuff showing you how much joy there is with the cast and crew of this show. There's cool Yord Horde shorts where they're really leaning into the bit. So go check that out to show that the people that are making the stuff love you and see how much you love their show. Also, I got to shout out Star Wars Explained and the Resistance Broadcast. Both, they've been having great live streams weekly. I know a lot of people have been doing it, but like Star Wars Explained had a great show with the Daughters of Ferrex that had great analyzation on the Acolyte. Resistance Broadcast had Laura from Force Toast on recently, and they had a lot of great conversations. So there are a lot of great live stream, long-form shows that will be talking about how much they love this show on a weekly basis. So go check them out. Links in the description below where you can find them. And if I missed someone, comment below. Who is your favorite Acolyte coverage right now? Who is giving you the live streams? Who's putting out those videos that gets all the noise out of your way and makes sure that you love this newest project from Star Wars? And before we get out of here, a quick lightning round of nerd news, because there are two other things that I've been obsessed with that I want to share with you. You may have seen with our poll last week that House of the Dragon is back. We did a whole video on it as well. The premiere happened earlier this week, and I freaking loved it. I cannot wait to be back in Westeros for the rest of the season. Team Black, by the way, won the poll pretty handily, because Rhaenyra is the rightful queen of the Seven Kingdoms. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, let me know what you think of the rest of House of the Dragon. If you haven't watced it, let me know why not. You don't have to. I'm just curious to see what gets people in and out of certain worlds. And finally, a little tease that later this week, we'll be putting out a video about Elden Ring, one of the biggest things in the nerd space in the last 5 years. Elden Ring has a DLC coming out called Shadow of the Erd Tree. If you're not a gamer, that's totally cool. You don't have to be. Hopefully you're going to be playing some Outlaws. But if you are and you've loved Elden Ring, let me know if you're going to pick up the DLC, if you're making a new build. I made a new character. Didn't think I would, but I'm making him like Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive. So that's a lot of nerd references in one here. So if you're going to be playing Shadow of the Erd Tree, check it out. If you haven't, make sure that you check out our video to see why it's been such a big deal. Maybe you'll grab it on sale. But with all that being said, it's been a great week, as always, to be a Star Wars fan and a little bit of a nerd here and there. Let me know if I missed anything. I'll be back next week to let you know what's been going on in the nerd space right now. But until then, may the Force be with you.